Victor Feguer ordered a single olive with the pit still in it. That was his entire last meal before his execution by hanging on March 15, 1963, in Iowa. Not a feast, not comfort food from childhood, just one olive. When asked why, he said he hoped an olive tree would grow from his grave. This was poetic but impractical. Olive pits don't sprout that way, and Feguer was buried in a prison cemetery where nothing grows except grass, maintained by inmate work crews. But the request reveals something about last meals that statistics and menus can't capture. In the final hours before execution, facing the absolute certainty of death, humans make choices that are sometimes profound, sometimes mundane, sometimes inexplicable. This is the psychology of the last meal, what inmates request, what states allow, and what these choices reveal about how humans face death when death is scheduled, sanctioned, and inescapable. The tradition of the last meal dates back centuries, rooted in superstition and ritual. In medieval Europe, executioners offered condemned prisoners a final meal, believing it would prevent the ghost from haunting them. The meal represented a gesture of reconciliation. The state was about to kill you, but first, it would feed you. This created psychological distance between the execution and murder. If we feed them first, we're civilized. We're not just killing. We're following rituals that make killing acceptable. Modern American prisons continue this tradition with varying rules. Some states have no monetary limit on last meals. Others cap spending at $40 or less. Some allow anything obtainable locally. Others restrict requests to items already available within the prison system. Texas famously abolished special last meals in 2011 after Lawrence Brewer, convicted of a brutal hate crime murder, requested an enormous meal. 2 chicken fried steaks, a triple bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelet, fried okra, a pound of barbecue, 3 fajitas, a pizza, a pint of ice cream, and peanut butter fudge, then refused to eat any of it. A state senator called this disrespectful. Now Texas inmates receive whatever is on the regular prison menu that day. Your last meal might be the same uninspired institutional food you've eaten for years. The psychology of the last meal request is fascinating. Some inmates choose comfort food from childhood: fried chicken, mashed potatoes, familiar tastes that connect them to times before their crimes, before prison, before the long wait on death row. These requests are attempts to return psychologically to innocence, or at least to moments when death wasn't imminent and certain. Others order elaborate multi-course meals they'll never finish, perhaps believing that as long as food remains uneaten, the execution can't proceed. The magical thinking of children applied to state-sanctioned killing. Some requests are provocative. Philip Workman, executed in Tennessee in 2007, requested that his last meal be a vegetarian pizza donated to a homeless person rather than given to him. The prison denied this request, but after his execution, homeless shelters across the country received donated pizzas from people moved by Workman's gesture. His last meal became a form of protest and charity that outlived him. Others have requested meals they know are impossible to provide: lobster in landlocked states, exotic foods unavailable locally, perhaps testing the limits of what the state will do to fulfill this final ritual. Timothy McVeigh, executed for the Oklahoma City bombing that killed 168 people, requested 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Just ice cream. Simple, impersonal, unrevealing. This frustrated people who wanted his food choice to provide insight into his psychology. But McVeigh's request was consistent with his personality: controlled, revealing nothing, giving observers nothing to analyze. Even in death, he maintained operational security. Wayne Gacy, who killed 33 young men and boys, requested fried chicken, shrimp, strawberries, and a Diet Coke. The normalcy of this meal disturbed people. A man who committed such extraordinary evil eating such ordinary food seemed wrong. People wanted his last meal to reflect his monstrosity. But Gacy wasn't a monster eating human flesh. He was a human being who liked fried chicken, and this ordinariness was somehow more disturbing than if he'd requested something bizarre. Ricky Ray Rector, executed in Arkansas in 1992, ordered steak, fried chicken, cherry Kool-Aid, and pecan pie. He ate everything except the pie, telling guards he was saving it for later. Rector had shot himself in the head during his arrest, destroying part of his brain and leaving him with the mental capacity of a child. He didn't understand that there would be no later. His saving the pie became a symbol of his diminished capacity and raised ethical questions about executing someone who didn't fully comprehend what was happening. But the execution proceeded anyway. The pie remained uneaten in his cell. The preparation of last meals presents ethical challenges for prison staff. Cooks preparing food for someone about to die describe the experience as surreal. You're fulfilling someone's final wish while knowing you're part of the machinery that will kill them hours later. Some guards refuse to participate in executions, but will prepare last meals, seeing it as a final act of humanity. Others see no moral difference. If you're willing to execute someone, preparing their meal is hardly the ethical line. The meals are sometimes prepared with care, approaching reverence. Other times they're thrown together without concern, because what's the point of culinary excellence for someone who will be dead before digesting it? Witnesses to executions occasionally report on whether inmates ate their last meals. Those who eat heartily are sometimes seen as accepting their fate. Those who refuse food are seen as protesting or already psychologically checked out. But both interpretations might be wrong. Appetite is complicated. Stress suppresses appetite in some people, triggers it in others. An inmate might genuinely want fried chicken, but be too nauseated by adrenaline and fear to eat. Another might eat mechanically because it's something to do with the remaining time, not because they taste anything. The contents of last meal requests reveal patterns. Fried chicken appears in about 20% of requests. Steak is also common. Ice cream, particularly specific flavors of comfort. Very few inmates request vegetables. Fresh fruit is requested occasionally, but vegetables are nearly absent. This might reflect prison's general food quality. After years of institutional cooking, you want real food, and real food to most Americans means meat and dessert. Or it might reflect something deeper about comfort and regression. Children don't crave broccoli when stressed. Neither do adults facing execution. Some last meal requests became famous posthumously. Gary Gilmore, the first person executed after the United States reinstated the death penalty in 1976, requested a simple meal: a hamburger, hard-boiled eggs, fresh coffee, and a shot of whiskey. The whiskey was denied. Prisons don't serve alcohol, so he drank a six-pack of beer instead. His meal was unremarkable, but its timing made it historically significant. The first last meal of the modern death penalty era was a hamburger. Somehow fitting that America's return to executions was marked by its most American food. Foreign nationals executed in the United States sometimes request foods from their home countries, attempts to connect with places they'll never see again. These requests are often denied because the foods aren't available locally or prison staff doesn't know how to prepare them. An inmate might spend their last hours eating an approximation of a meal they wanted, close but wrong. A final reminder that even in death, the state controls what you receive. The last meals of the innocent, inmates later exonerated after execution, carry particular tragedy. Cameron Todd Willingham, executed in Texas in 2004 for allegedly setting a fire that killed his 3 daughters, requested no last meal. He maintained his innocence to the end. Post-execution investigation suggested the fire was accidental, not arson. Willingham might have been innocent. His refusal of a last meal becomes a form of protest. I'm not participating in the ritual because the ritual assumes guilt I don't possess. But the protest was futile. The execution proceeded. The state killed him regardless of whether he ate first. The financial cost of last meals is negligible compared to the overall cost of executions, which average over $1 million per case when accounting for decades of legal proceedings. Spending $40 on final meal is rounding error. But states still debate whether even this small dignity should be granted. The argument against: why give murderers something their victims didn't get? The argument for: we're not murderers, we're a justice system, and justice includes following procedures that separate legal execution from vigilante killing. The last meal is part of that procedure. If you want to explore more about death row, execution procedures, and how humans face sanctioned death, subscribe to Prison Diaries. Because last meals reveal something fundamental about how we ritualize killing to make it acceptable, and how even facing certain death, humans make choices that are sometimes profound, sometimes petty, but always heartbreakingly human.